Dennis Hogan, only been back a week. How do you feel it all went down in Mexico?
I think, obviously I made a lot of that clear on the video after the fight. My attitude towards it hasn't really changed. I've had a few ups and downs. I've had a few down moments thinking about, getting back to Australia and getting back to Ireland and just being like, I should have my belt with me, because I certainly felt like I won the fight. But the way everything went down, it was really a setup for a loss, really. But I went out there, I did myself, my team, and my country's proud. So I'm really happy about that. But the rest of it is all out of my control.
Have you thought about now, where do we sit right now with yourself in negotiations? I see you're still very active right now. You're looking fit, obviously training today. Most fighters will probably have 4 to 6 weeks off, relax. You're staying active. Is that because you feel that there could be a rematch shortly?
I usually stay active anyway. I usually only want, 2 weeks off after a fight and then start to get back into it. But there is that element too. We are waiting on Munguia to make an individual decision. It solely depends on whether he wants it or not to have a rematch. So hoping that he says yeah on that. And in the meanwhile, anything that I could have improved on in that fight, and anything that we feel that he will try and improve on, we got to start. We got to start working on that now, because he usually backs up fights quite quickly. But I think after that, he said he doesn't want to fight again till autumn, which will be 4 or 5 months away. So, as far as
time.
Yeah, their time.
Around September, October.
Yeah, October, I think. So I think, he's felt the blunt of that last fight, and he'll want a bit of time off. I'm still good from that fight. I had more rounds in me, as you would have seen. Incredible. So it's time for us to keep improving and keep, skill-wise and everything else.
Do you feel he's a bit afraid of you after this fight?
I believe he should be. I believe he'll know now what he's up against, and how does that play into a guy's mind who used to feel so dominant over all the fighters. You look down his record, all the fighters he's faced, he's been so dominant. Even the guys there was a guy before he didn't knock out, he didn't like, he went back, rematched him and got the knockout. So that's where his head is at, dominant wise. Now you've got this crazy little Irishman that's come in and
shaking it
up. Now, what way is he thinking about himself? This could really backfire on his confidence and mentality. And in terms of the rematch, he's been touted to be a Mexican superstar, and that's the way it's been looking for him. So if he doesn't take this, then that reflects badly on his legacy and what he wants to do. If he does take it, he's got to make the deal with. How does which is the better of pick the better of two evils, really.
I've watched 10 of your fights. This is your 4th fight that you've fought under Glenn Rushton. You're a different fighter with Glenn Rushton, aren't you?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us a bit about that relationship?
So me and Glenn sat down at the end of 2016, and we were always good. We always got on very well when I was here sparring with Jeff previously up to that, and I had a lot of respect for Glenn, and I could see his mentality was where my mentality was going, in terms of speaking the same language, in terms of having big goals. Like, for as long as I've known Jeff and sparring with him, he wanted to beat Manny Pacquiao for the World Championship. For as long as I've known Glenn, he's wanted to fill out Suncorp Stadium, and he's been expressing that, and I'm always about expressing your goals and aiming high, and some of the things he said to me I resonated with. So I sat down with him at the end of 2016, and I just said, and that was actually before they did achieve their goals. But the fact he was speaking about, that was before Jeff beat Manny on July 2nd in Suncorp Stadium. But I knew that he had a big vision, and so we sat down and we had a chat, and we resonated. And I said I wanted to be world champion. He said, I know you can be, and he just said, but there's obviously stuff that you got to do first. So.
And you've done that?
Oh, mate, he
has to.
Well, he said to me, he goes, we're going to do skills and drills. We're going to do all of that. We're going to do all the work. Are you prepared to come in and put in like I think it was something like 4 to 5 hours a day. It was 4 hours. And I was coming in early and I was leaving late too. So we started in January 2017, and by mid-April, Glenn came up to me and said, Dennis, I've seen everything in you now. Anything I've asked of you to do, you've done. We've compartmentalised all the different sort of things and slowed it down and brought it all back together. And he said, now I know when we work out a game plan, you can beat anybody. And from that point onwards, it was good. And at least I wouldn't have to come in for 5-6 hours a day as well. So that was good. But then after that, we started to work out game plans and we started to beat all those fighters. And I've grown from strength to strength. Confidence is a great thing as well. And everything coming together. And when I'm in sparring, when he notices something, we get on it straight away. And we're always looking to improve as well. And you know, my whole energy changed too. Come and training, I don't dread training now. Before I used to go, oh, you know, the energy of it and this, that and the other. Now it's like I'm coming training and I'm singing to myself in the car along with my music. I'm enjoying it. This is,
you're back in love with the sport.
Yeah, I'm back in love with the sport. For a while there I wasn't at all. Even you know, the thoughts of retiring made me feel happy. I was like, oh, when this is over, I'll be, you know, this is, I won't have to do all that again. Now I'm nearly dreading the thought of the day I have to retire. So different mentality altogether, and I'm glad I'm with Glenn and Stretton Gym. So.
I saw after the fight, and I've known Glenn pretty well 3 or 4 years, and obviously he's been in the corner for some defeats, obviously with Jeff when he got beaten to Terrence. Never seen Glenn Rushton so upset after your lost to Jaime Munguia. Never seen him, he was emotional, Glenn, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
He was upset. And for those who don't know, it was a short training camp. It was only a 5.5 week training camp. But I've never seen him so upset.
Yeah.
That must be a special connection between you two.
Yeah, there is. I mean, and he said, you know, when we spoke, he said, you know, I will, like, he made a promise. I think these are, his words. But he did tell me I'd be world champion, but the word out there, he made a promise to me he'd be world champion, and I feel like that's on the night when we had done enough, we had done everything, we had gone to the champion's backyard. Like, I was mandatory, I didn't have to do that, but I dared to be great. And some people said, why did you do that? And I said, well, my goal was to be world champion first and foremost, but I was around Jeff when he went and beat Manny Pacquiao and did something phenomenal. And you know, rather than want to be world champion then, I wanted to do something phenomenal because I seen what it looked like. So I said, you know what,
in his backyard too.
Yeah. So I mean, this is what I thought, okay, this is how I replicate that. I want to feel what Jeff felt, and I reckon by going to Mexico and doing that, I will get that. And it's about daring to be great and doing something legendary and leaving a legacy. And I thought this was going to do it. You know, I'd never wanted to do it for a vacant title or something like that, right? Let's just move it in like that. We dared to be great. We went there to do that, and you know, and we felt we did it and we did the job. And you know, I was surprised also when I seen the footage of it too. But I'm not surprised in terms of our relationship. We're very close. But I was, I never seen Glenn, because Glenn,
no, I never seen it.
So Glenn, like, obviously, you know, when I look at Glenn, I see a fearless warrior, and that doesn't change, by the way. But just to see him get emotional like that, I mean, it's all love, but it meant a lot to me in a good way, you know.
Because Glenn's got some good. We spoke about it last week with some fantastic interviews that we did with FightHype around. Glenn's got some opinions on how it should be judged, and obviously. Purely for the better for the sport, you know. And his opinions on it is not as a sore loser, but it's obviously for boxing. Yeah, I mean, again, when Glenn used to tell me back years ago that his goal was to fill out Suncorp Stadium and that, and you know, and you know, like it just goes to show the love for the sport was to get it back into those big stadiums and do all of that and to create. And his goal is here to create legends, you know, in boxing. And I know genuinely Glenn also wants to see us all achieve our dreams, you know. I know that on a personal level. So I mean, that's where it is with him, and there's a lot of respect for that. Jaime Munguia, if he doesn't fight till obviously October, would you potentially wait that long, or would you like to have a fight in August?
If he turns around, if he says that the rematch isn't happening, it is not. Then I'll jump straight in. Well, I will ask the question: who do I have to beat to get mandatory?
Exactly, because you dropped back to number 3 mandatory.
Yeah. Apparently they said. Apparently I was meant to stay number 1, and then apparently it's a bylaw. You lose the title fight, you got to drop a few places. Okay. It could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse. And then it came back out that the recount said a draw. So, and again, one for me, one for Munguia. So, so three isn't bad, because I've always asked the question. You've seen me in my last few years. I kept asking the WBO all last year, who do I have to beat to become mandatory? Who do I have to beat? It was only when we got offered, I was number 2 with the IBF, when we got offered a and the title eliminator with them, that they made me mandatory with the WBO. So, you know, so I'm back asking the question. First of all, get the rematch. If not, who do I have to beat? It's Kell Brook, Patrick Teixeira, who? I'll do it.
And at 154?
154.
154 is the perfect weight. All right, no worries. All right, mate. Anything for the fans out there? I know you've got a lot of people from Mexico and Ireland that watch our channel. Any message to your fans out there? What's happening?
Yeah, look, I mean, all the love and support I've gotten from the Mexicans especially blew me away. Because I wasn't expecting that, but I got that, and Mexico is a beautiful place, and I would love to go back there visit for a holiday. So thank you so much to them for all of that support. And to Australia and Ireland, it's just been phenomenal. I got a lot of, again, a lot of support, and even in America, actually, a lot of Americans have taken notice, and I've seen a lot of cool videos of people talking about my style and how much they've enjoyed it. And as a fighter, obviously a goal to be world champion, but my goal is to bring exciting fights and to be and to bring that, and now as well to bring a special, unique element to boxing, which I think people have seen that I now do. So bring it all together. Thank you so much for all the love and appreciation. I appreciate it a lot, and I will keep bringing exciting fights to you guys.
No worries. Thank you, Dennis Hogan.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.